You are listening to the B.I.G Show with your hosts, Calvin and Garland. The B.I.G Show is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Here are your hosts, Calvin and Garland.
It is the big show.
Big up, big up, big up, big up.
And I know we missed last week. I was on my little anniversary vacation.
Little joint, little vacation and whatnot.
But we back better than ever, as always. And we've been pretty consistent, so I don't want to hear no shit from nobody. That
People gotta take breaks, y'all. It's all good.
We've been pretty consistent. We are live on YouTube right now. We'll be on all your podcast platforms, and if you are a Spotify subscriber, you can see our beautiful faces as Spotify will show the actual video of the podcast. What's going on, Garland?
What's going on, man? Oh my God, it took me an hour to get home today. Normally it don't take me that long, but it seemed like there was it's a lot of infrastructure stuff going on in the city, a lot of work and accidents, and then emergency vehicles having to get by. So it was I had to go 20 different ways to get back to where I needed to get to and stuff. So yeah, just a lot of traffic. What about yourself, man? I mean, other than that, it's been a good day, good week. Nice having a week off last week while you was celebrating anniversary love and all those great things. And so what about yourself? Tell us a little bit about your trip, what you did, what it was all about.
Oh, yeah, man. It's our 8th anniversary. So we decided to go to Aruba. So we went to Aruba and just hung out at a little resort for a few days. Didn't do a whole lot. Did a little, they got the little boats where you can get the little drinks on and dive at another beach, and did some UTV riding, which I didn't know what a UTV was.
What's a UTV?
It's an ATV for two people. So it's
okay. I didn't know that.
It's like the little cars.
You learning me? Okay.
I didn't know either. I didn't know what it was, but that's all it is. ATV is one person. Okay. UTV is two people. That's all it is. So we did that. Did some cliff diving. It was only like 10 feet. Yeah.
Was you at Rick's Cafe in Jamaica? Would you diving off a top cliff like that?
No, it's like 10 feet into. It's like 8 feet into 10 feet, or 10 feet into 8 feet. Something small.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Let me not. I don't want y'all to think. I ain't do it. The boy's wife did it.
I'm trying to see you climbing the cliff.
I was down there. There's a little ladder that take you down to the edge of the cliff, and I was holding on to the string tight so I wouldn't fall and shit. But I was down there. It was just a task from my ass to get down that motherfucker.
Bro.
But I had a couple little nice dinners, did a couple walking, but it was mostly just relaxing, and I had a good time. We definitely want to go back to Aruba because we didn't explore the island as much as we wanted to, because this was more of a relaxing vacation, but we definitely want to go back. So, but I'm not mad at Aruba. I'm not mad at it.
I think it's okay for people to relax on these things. Now everybody wants to be Indiana Jones. And when they go on these vacations and take these excursions and think they should jump off a top of the mountain, or you ain't never rode a jet ski in your life, but now you want to ride a jet ski, go jet ski, scuba diving. You don't know nothing about no daggone scuba diving. You barely even swam at the public pool. But all of a sudden, y'all want to turn into MacGyver when y'all go on these vacations and be doing all this crazy. No, don't hurt yourself.
We have that
and take your time.
Before we go anywhere, we have that conversation. Like, do we want this trip to be sightseeing and adventure, or do we want it to be relaxation? Now, both of them are going to have elements of each, but one is going to be more than another. Like when we went to Italy, it was mostly sightseeing. You wanted to see the Parthenon, the Colosseum. You just mostly sightseeing.
Yeah.
And some some relaxation. But this one was more relaxation and just a little bit of adventure. Not too much sightseeing in Aruba, but a little bit of adventure. So
yeah. Because when we went to Cancun, man, they told us, it's going to be gentle waters when you go. When you go diving and all, and you're gonna have your equipment, man. They put us out in the middle of the daggone ocean, boy. I turned around and swam right back to the boat. pull me up, sir. Y'all ain't gonna be having me out here about to perish on vacation. So yeah, just telling people that, yeah, if you ain't been swimming in about 10 years, yeah, you know how to swim, but it don't mean you know how to swim in the Atlantic. And
That's
so
why, and that's
just
why I didn't jump off that cliff because I know
yeah,
how to swim, but I haven't actually swam in open water since
right,
about 100 pounds ago. And I'll
right,
be damned if I'm going to jump on off that
right,
cliff and be the one.
right, right.
And then it
Come
ain't
on.
like the people running it going to help you. It would have to be the other tourists helping me. And now they're going to be like, man,
Yeah,
we
bro.
trying to enjoy our vacation. Let
Yeah,
his
yeah,
fat
yeah.
ass drown.
Right.
Sorry.
Slow. Just sit on the beach. It's okay. It's no crime in it. Have a
No crime.
daiquiri. Go ahead and have those. It's inclusive. Have as many drinks as you want and all those great things and enjoy yourself. So yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself. Happy anniversary to you and the missus and all. I'm glad
Appreciate it.
that you made it
Appreciate it.
back safely. And so we got a couple of things to get through tonight, but we didn't do really any breakdown of the Ravens recap. They on a 2-game losing streak that they lost because of Calvin. He was gone the first week, and then uh, he was kind of back the next game, but they lost still. And so we're gonna go through some of those things, go through our little pigskin pick'em. I told y'all the cream was gonna rise to the top, didn't I tell y'all that?
So that's what we
2 weeks
starting.
ago.
We
We,
usually
we ain't
make
gonna
that
start
like
there.
that.
Yeah, we ain't gonna start there, but I'm just letting people. I'm giving people a preview. I told y'all 2 weeks ago
Oh boy, here
that
we
the
go.
cream was gonna rise to the top. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit. But we're gonna start off, man. And we got some come on yos. As a matter of fact, I got 2 come on yos. This is so crazy. I didn't went in on 2 come on yos for this evening. And so let's go ahead and start. We're gonna start with a little WNBA and the Feast of Kaya.
Yeah, man. You want me to jump in on
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one?
yeah. I mean, we know if you've been following this news last week, well, actually, it's about 2 weeks ago now. At her exit interview, Nafisa Collier, she came out and made some very strong statements about the leadership of the WNBA, and she basically was saying that there are a lot of issues. It's like a 4.5 minute kind of talk about the state of WNBA officiating and Commissioner Kathy Engelbert's leadership and attitude towards players. And so she said she dropped a lot of different things, talking about how she met with Engelbert back in February at the All-Star game. Collier and her husband, Alex Basil, he's the president of Unrivaled, which is a startup 3-on-3 league that he founded alongside with his wife. That's coming very popular. They had a great run during the off season of the WNBA, and it's a way to try to get players paid instead of having them have to go to Europe and play and all those different things. They can stay home and try to make that money. And so she said this past February, I sat across from Engelbert and asked her how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. And her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Clark, like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Buckers, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league and are making so little in their first 4 years. And her response, Collier said, was that she said, Engelbert said that Clark should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she also stated that players should be on their knees, thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. And so, these comments, got a lot of 100% facts from other WNBA players. Caitlin Clark, she didn't necessarily come out and was screaming, yeah, niece Nafisa's my girl, but she also kind of said like, yeah, these contracts and stuff is still a thing in progress. The WNBA commissioner, she came out. She shared her thoughts, saying that she does not look at it that way. She was misinterpreted. Of course, she's going to say that, and she tried to set up a meeting with Collier, but Collier canceled on the meeting. And so What are your thoughts around this, Calvin, about what Nafisa is saying and these different issues with the WNBA and the fact that, man, they don't make no money. They still, although the league has exploded in the last 2 to 3 years, the money has not caught up to the players.
Yeah. So first of all, the first thing that I want to recognize is that we should not even be talking about this at this time, because that was at a point where they were going into the WNBA finals. Not in the NFL, not in the NBA, not in MLB has anything actually been bigger than the game. Now, there have been some huge stories, but especially in like the NFL, the game still always takes precedence. You're still watching the game. I don't even know how many people realize that the Las Vegas Aces are up 2-0 on the Phoenix Mercury in the finals.
Right.
This is the WNBA finals. This isn't playoffs. They're in the finals right now. The Las Vegas Aces, who are taking a page out of the past Minnesota Lynx, Houston Comets, Seattle Storm, they're going for their third title in the last 4 years, where New York Liberty won last year. So we should be focused on that. And a player like Asia Wilson, who is just out there killing it, has been killing it since she's been in the league. But we're not. We're talking about this. One of the things that we discussed a few weeks ago, well, probably a few months ago now, is that the WNBA started getting a lot more attention with the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese rivalry. A lot of the players coming in, they started getting more attention. And I mentioned that they had to start, they wanted to be treated like the NBA, but they started bucking back. They didn't want the attention. Like they felt like you're into our business too much. But that's what comes with it. Now on the other end of that, the NBA and the commissioner haven't caught up to that yet. They're still talking about the WNBA is losing money, and they're actually not losing money. This is the most revenue they've ever gotten. This point, I mean, it's relative, but at this point, when the NBA got started in this point of their seasons, how can I say that? In this point of their growth, the WNBA is much more popular than the NBA was, and if you remember, the NBA was with the ABA. Then once they became just the NBA, they would take delays on the finals. You're not getting that with the WNBA. You didn't get the stars that they have now. Kathy Engelbert said something. Now, it could have been taken out of context. And Nafisha Collier probably, all in all, should not have come out and said the things that were in a private conversation.
Mm.
But with that being said, then you shouldn't say things like that you don't want to come out. Nafisha Collier, if you look at her history, she's an activist. She stands up for women's rights. She stands up for the pay grades. Her parents have a history of activism. She's going to come out and fight for her league. The WNBA, their collective bargaining ends this month, so they're going to go into a new one. I doubt if Kathy Engelbert survives this. I doubt if she is commissioner next year, because she's just not the person. She's not that liaison that she should be, because essentially she works for the owners, just as all commissioners work for the owners. There should be a two-way street where you can go and talk to the commissioner, but
Mhm.
Kathy Engelbert, she makes it clear that her loyalty is to the owners. When you look at the refereeing that they try to bring up, it's like the refereeing for the WNBA is like the AAA of the NBA. They get their feet wet there, then they move on up, which isn't necessarily a problem until you see that the calls are awful, like the fouls are awful. That's all a work in progress, but you still have to get them better refereeing. And you can't say things like only losers complain about it. I mean, it's my thing is, we ask the players to grow into this new stardom. Now the WNBA officials, the commissioner, and even the NBA owners, which most of them own WNBA teams, have to start growing also. Remember, it was just a few years ago where the NCAA women didn't have the facilities of training as the men. They had a few free weights here and there, while the men had state of the art training facilities. The WNBA just started getting private charters. They were flying Southwest like me and you. They were on Spirit Airlines. I mean, I just think that it's time now that we stop the second class citizen treatment that we're giving the WNBA players. Their money needs to pick up, their attention needs to pick up. We need to start showing them some respect, and it starts with the commissioner because the players are now bucking back, and the WNBA has made significant strides, and people are watching now. So sorry to go on that long rant, but I just don't. I feel like when people aren't being given a fair shot or they're not being treated fairly. I mean, we have a whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, which is along racial lines. But when this came out, we forgot all about that. Like they're all banding together. The chick that plays with Caitlin Clark, the Sophia, their point guard, the Sophia girl, who's a clear conservative Trumper. She's one out there. I haven't even watched the finals because of the commissioner. I'm not even watching the playoffs because of the commissioner. So they're all banding against her, and that says something. These girls deserve to start getting more money, start getting more attention, and start. They deserve to be treated fairly.
Sophia Cunningham.
Sophia Cunningham.
All right. Just to add a little bit on top of what you said, I think you pretty much said everything I was thinking. But I really feel that, and I said this over the summer, and I said it on our show, and I said it on another show, the Be More Sports podcast that I was on, that the WNBA does have an officiating problem. That they're calling these games like it's the 80s, early 90s NBA. You can't have a profitable league when your star players are missing a lot of time and they're not playing in vital games. And I mean, Caitlin Clark missed half of the season or most of the season, and her team made it all the way to the semifinals. Imagine if she was playing in the semifinals with her team against the Aces, and I mean, they would probably have greater TV ratings, even now that it's NFL season and college football season. They probably might have set some records if she's playing, but she's not playing because she's injured from, poor officiating pretty much throughout the league, and a lot of players lost that. I understand that their CBA is coming up, and so this is going to be part of their tactics, man, to make sure that they get the money that they deserve. I mean, I think the thing we also have to really remember is that these WNBA teams are owned by NBA owners. And so they're cheapskates. This whole thing started as something to fill the arenas during the summer so they can make some money over the summer and fill some dates. And now that it's grown and it is time to pay the players. They were talking about how the salary cap or the total salary of some teams is just $1.5 million for a team, but this is a multi-billion-dollar league, and you still have players not being paid what they're worth. And so, this is all part of a great tactic. I think Kaya was great coming out because she didn't have anything to lose. I
No.
think Engelbert is probably a lame duck in terms of her position. I agree with you on that. And there's no retribution, or no one's going to blackball her from playing in the league for saying this. She's one of the NBA's best players, and every team would love to have her on their team. And so she does have leverage in terms of, if this was just a player we really did not know, and that player said this, then I'm like, that player's probably not going to play in the WNBA anymore.
Right.
But, the right person said it, it got enough attention, and now they have to do something, and so we'll see what happens with it. But this is the fight, this is the work that has to be done to get that equal treatment for that league. And so I wish them the best. It's unfortunate, and I think I may have said it on our podcast, or maybe the other one as well, that it's just unfortunate that their season runs into the start of the NFL season. So they get a lot of great momentum in the summer. I mean, and it's not a lot of stuff to watch during the summer. So let's be real about that. And so they get great viewership or great interest. But once college football and NFL kicks off, it's like, yeah, I was just flipping channels last week. I didn't realize that the finals had started on Friday, on a Friday night. And a lot of people probably don't know that the Aces are up 2-0, and they probably couldn't name three starters on the Phoenix team. And so yeah, a lot of work to be done still. All right. Let's go ahead, man, and jump into some NFL, and let's go ahead and start with our Ravens recap. And I'm just going to start off and say the Ravens stink. The late great John Madden once said, "Winning is the best deodorant," meaning when you are winning, you are able to mask your weaknesses and vulnerabilities like a good deodorant does for our bodies. But when you're losing, you can't mask the stench of being a bad team. And the Baltimore Ravens stink. On Sunday, the Ravens lost their third consecutive game, 44-10, to the Houston Texans at home. The Ravens fell to 1-4 for the second time in the franchise's 30-year history because they couldn't stop Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud and the Texans offense. The 44 points are the most allowed by the Ravens in a home game in John Harbaugh's 18 seasons as head coach. It was a low point for the Baltimore defense, also, which allowed 5 touchdowns to a Texans team that had scored only 6 touchdowns up to that point of the season. The Ravens on Sunday were without 7 Pro Bowl players from last year, including two-time NFL MVP Lamar Jackson, and they were forced to start 5 rookies on defense to fill in for the injured players. And so let's start with the coaching first, Calvin, because that's where most of the conversation has been over the last 2 weeks here, at least in Baltimore. And so the 34-point loss is tied for the second worst margin of defeat under Harbaugh and represents Baltimore's largest home defeat since 2013. During the post-game press conference, Harbaugh called it a complete disappointment. No shit. And so we're going to have to find a way. This is Harbaugh's quote. We're going to have to find a way to turn it around and figure out who we are this week and then into the bye week, he said. And after the bye, we're going to have more than half of the season left, and we're going to have to find ourselves. So that's what our aim will be going forward. And so the Ravens' postseason hopes are dwindling. In the Super Bowl era, only 4.1% of teams that lost at least 4 of their first 5 games were able to rebound and make the playoffs, according to ESPN research. That's for you, Jay. And so let's start off with this. Has Harbaugh lost this team?
So did he ever really have this iteration of the team? I mean, let's
I would
really
say he did.
this season, maybe
Not
like
last season and the season before that.
maybe
I would say leading
maybe.
up to these last couple seasons, yes.
It's really difficult to say if a coach lost a team, especially when players are not coming out saying anything that could be coded. Now,
Mm-hmm.
um, Harbaugh talks about some coded things. I did hear they asked him about the Rashad Bateman, the interception on Bateman, and how Bateman looked like he stopped the route, and then Harbaugh, instead of taking the high road and saying, "Oh well, I don't think he did. I think he was like, oh yeah, we'll have to talk to him about that." Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know, but what I do know is that the team played uninspired. There's always, even in a loss, there seems to be some sort of effort always given. It just looked like they were kind of going through the motions. Now that could be because we as fans were going through the motions and wanted the game to be over as quickly as possible. So it's really hard to judge hard and say that someone's lost a team or given up on them. So I don't know. I just know it doesn't
Yeah.
look like a good situation.
It doesn't. The one thing I always say about John Harbaugh, in addition to he's worth at least 2 to 3 losses a season, that his teams always play hard for him. I can say that I've never seen a team quit on John Harbaugh or play uninspired football. They've always, even in their worst seasons, after they won that Super Bowl in 2013, and they went through, a couple years of where it was very rough. Those teams still play hard. They were in a lot of those games. They just didn't have the players to pull it out. And but Sunday's game, it just and I've been saying this for the last couple games, just the energy, and I know that sounds superficial, but just the energy of the players, the body language, the
We all
effort,
felt it. Yeah, I agree.
it is not there. And to me, that is early signs of people tuning out the coach. We saw it in Brian Billick's last year when he was coaching here in Baltimore. That last season that he was here, eventually you just start seeing the body language, the energy of the team was just like he did not have a impact or effect anymore on that team. And so I with you. I don't know if he's lost the team, but I will say that they got to do something to improve this effort on the field because what we're seeing on the field is horrible. Um, One of the things I heard somebody talking about, and I wanted to see what your thoughts are about this. Now, we know that the Ravens are not the type of team that would make a firing in the middle of the season. That they've never had, at least of a head coach, that's never happened in the middle of a season. They've never let a coach go in the middle of the season. But if you let John Harbaugh go, I don't think you lose too much. I mean, what it say like as compared to a Sean Payton, his hands is all over that offense in Denver. You let him go in the middle of the season, you're not going to have much there because he's pretty much running that offense. You could probably say the same thing about Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. You could probably say the same thing about Todd Bowles in Tampa with the defense, or you could say it about Andy Reid and KC with the offense. Those are people that are really kind of their fingerprints are all over an aspect of that team, a major aspect, and to let someone go like that would be major. I think we won't see Harbaugh go in the middle of the season because there's really nobody on that staff who you would turn the team over to. They had Anthony Weaver, who was the assistant head coach for those couple years. Now he's in Miami. He's the DC there. They had Denard Wilson. He was coaching the defensive backs. He's the DC in Tennessee. Of course, McDonald's gone. He's in Seattle. It's like who do you turn that team over to if you did get rid of Harbaugh? But if they fall out of the playoff race early, although they're still in it, the AFC is still open. It's a lot of teams that are still kind of they got their foot in the door. Do you think they would make that move and let Harbaugh go?
So I'm with you. That you're not losing much by letting Harbaugh go right now,
Mm-hmm.
especially over the bye week. Because I mean, by all accounts, we're going to go into the bye with a 1-5 record. 2-4 would be almost a miracle at this point to beat the Rams, but a 1-5 record. If you do have to go, you would have to turn the team over to Todd Monken, because your superstar player is on the offensive side of the ball. And
Sure.
I do believe that Lamar does trust Todd Monken. I don't think any of them really trust Brian Billick, but I think Brian Billick, John Harbaugh, but that's Harbaugh's fault. I think Harbaugh has been the beneficiary of some very good defenses, a very good Lamar offense, and some coordinators that have been very good at times.
He's had
And
some great coordinators.
yeah, so he hasn't had to put his hands on any specific part of the game, as you were mentioning, like a Sean Payton. So he hasn't had to do that. So to his own detriment, if you let him go now, I'm with you. You're not losing much, but maybe a speech or two here and there,
Right.
because these guys are really, really running possibly his philosophy, but their own offense and their own defense, and even their own special teams. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's supposed to be a special teams guru, and it is not looking good with special teams this year. I mean, it's like other than just the name and having the history, what is it that is actually Harbaugh's on the Ravens. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
what that
Right.
is actually his.
What is it that you would say is John Harbaugh's leg? What does he bring to
Yeah,
that team?
it's just, and I hate to say that because as I've talked about in the past, Harbaugh is a Hall of Fame coach. He is a Super Bowl winner.
Hmm.
Um, if he
Living
leaves
off that one
Baltimore,
Super Bowl.
he is. I
Yeah.
mean, but it's the truth. If he leaves Baltimore, he'll be in consideration, if not picked up immediately,
Hmm.
come next season. But you can also look at it. It may be a good move for both of them, and I liken that to like an Andy Reid, who did everything in Philadelphia, but they finally decided to let him go, and it was better for the Chiefs and for the Eagles. Eagles went on to go to two or three Super Bowls and win two, and Andy Reid goes to Kansas City, and we all know the Chiefs are just a juggernaut now. So it may be a good move for both teams. But yeah, I'm with you. They can do it in the middle of the season, and I don't know if we're going to gain much. I think we're all, as fans, holding on to the fact that we still have the AFC North to get through. We look at the schedule, and everybody's like, well, the schedule gets softer. That's true when your team is good. But we're
Right.
a soft team. So it's not like
Chicago's
the
playing
schedule gets
good.
softer. These teams
Minnesota's
are
playing
looking at
well.
us. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're looking at us like, oh, this is the soft team that we. I mean, look at Houston. Houston was 1-3. They get
Yeah.
out there. They were sitting there playing ball like they were the goddamn 49ers in the 80s. You got
You,
CJ Stroud running for 30 yards.
you would have thought. I mean, Calvin, they couldn't run the ball the first 5 weeks, first 4 weeks of games. They couldn't run the ball.
It's crazy.
They
So
couldn't block for Stroud, and they came in here, and like you said, they looked like the greatest show on turf.
we we talk everybody talk about, yeah, the schedule gets softer. Does it? Because we're the soft part of
Right.
everyone else's schedule.
We're the soft part of the schedule. And so you mentioned something. So even if they do turn it around and say they sneak in as a wild card, I mean, do you think they should bring Harbaugh back next season?
No, absolutely. Oh gosh, I'm so glad you said that. I'm saying no because I've always said no. Don't bring him back.
Hmm.
But we actually talked about this. We do our little tailgate, and we talked about this in our tailgate. The worst part for Ravens fans is if we do make the playoffs, if it does turn around, if we do get to the AFC Championship game or even the Super Bowl. At that point, you cannot get rid of John Harbaugh. Like,
Right.
like you literally can. If he's taking a team that's 1-5 right now, or 1-4 right this minute, and takes them and gets them to even close to what they've been, you're looking at this guy like, well, there was some injuries, and then it's Zach, or like you're blaming
Right.
everyone else. You're looking at this guy like maybe he can do something when we're all sitting here like, no, but
Bro. If
but
he gets
we
this team to 9-8,
but it's one of them things where we bring it on ourselves, because how many times have we all said, oh, we don't care about the regular season, it's the playoffs that we care about. Well, the regular season is going to shit right now. So if they
right.
do sneak into the playoffs, then we getting what we ask for. And then if they win a game or two in the playoffs, we're kind of like, what do you do? But
Right.
it's tough. But I do think a change needs to be made.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I think it's time for a change. I think after 13 years, well, actually, no, I'm sorry, since 2013, that would be 12 years. Um, he's had more than enough chances. I mean, and these last, especially in the Lamar era, these last maybe 3 or 4 years, this has really been a chance. As a matter of fact, I think they really blew. They had a 2 year window where they
Uh,
had no injuries
uh,
and they were peaking in terms of efficiency in
yeah,
play, and they blew the AFC Championship game, and then last year with all the mistakes. And I really don't. I wouldn't blame Harbaugh for last year's playoff loss to the Bills.
I
It was
don't.
the
Yeah.
players. I don't. I don't. He actually, I give him grace on that. People were mad because he went for 2 points early. I'm like, we're trying to win the game.
Mhm.
And I appreciated him doing that. And so we really couldn't put that on him. But I think it's maybe time to change the drapes and get some new carpet and get a new sofa. So we'll see what happens with them. Let's talk about the defense for a little bit. The Ravens have given up 177 points this season, the most in the NFL. They're most in a 5 game span in team history. And so, although our boy John Harbaugh say he's sticking with defensive coordinator Zach Orr, if the Ravens lose Sunday to the Rams, will Zach Orr make it out of the bye week?
I even if the Ravens beat the Rams, unless they beat the Rams because of the defense played lights out, I don't think Orr is going to make it out of the bye. Now, the Ravens, as you just mentioned, and we've always talked about, the Ravens do not or rarely do they fire any coordinators in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I can remember, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but we talked about it. It was when they let go of Cam Cameron, I believe
Yes,
it was,
Cam
to get
Cameron during the Super Bowl season.
Jim Caldwell, and then they went
Mm-hmm.
on to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't see him making it out of this because right now, your John Harbaugh, even the John Harbaugh haters are like Zach Orr is just not the guy. He's just got to
Right.
go. The defense looks the defense now where we're saying the team looks uninspired. For me, that's mostly on the offensive side of the ball, because what I will say is the defense looks like they're trying,
Right.
but it looks like the schemes and the players just are not up to the task.
The scheme is not scheming.
Yeah, it's just and that all falls on the coordinator. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we like
someone
them.
on local raise on radio raises. I think it was Vinny Serrato. He was saying, it means something that the last 2 seasons they have had to reach out to people to come in as consultants to help
Yeah,
or on the
yeah,
defensive side of the ball, and that means something.
yeah,
And yeah, we've and I think we said it a couple weeks ago. The last 2 seasons, the problems have been on the defensive side of the ball early, and they've had to make moves to adjust and make it better. And it's just not getting better. And of course, the injuries don't help. But in a move to address the defense, the Ravens traded former first round pick linebacker Odafe Owe, or almost Owe as I call him,
mm.
and a seventh round pick to
Oh,
the
Daffy,
Chargers.
no way.
Yes, to the Chargers for safety Alohi Gilman and a sixth-round pick next season. These are the seventh and sixth rounders for the 2026 draft. Almost Owe, who will be a free agent at the end of the season, had his best sack season in last season in 2024 with 10. His closest high was 5. He did that in his first season, 2021, and he did it in 2023 as well. This season, he has 0 sacks in 5 games and only 5 solo tackles. Also, in another move, the team also signed safety C.J. Gardner Johnson to the practice squad. Gardner Johnson started the season with the Texans, but was released early in the season. And so, although let's say they win and or makes it out of the bye week, um, does this change help make them a better defense? I mean, what needs to happen, Calvin, to fix? Because I think when Lamar comes back, I mean, the run games are broken too, but the bigger fix is on the defense. They just can't stop anybody. They can't stop anybody on defense.
No one.
What needs to change? I mean, okay, we traded away a guy who really he just underperformed. I mean, he came out of college not really being a beast. I think he just had a name, and I think he only had 1 sack his senior year at Penn State. And so um, this wasn't Terrell Suggs or Elmis Dumaville or Reggie White coming in. This was a guy that was kind of like a development project, and he really never developed. He got 10 trash sacks last year. Um, there's not a game we can point to and say that's the Odafe Owe game. Like this is the game that he completely destroyed the other team, and he had multiple sacks, and they had to double team him. I think I saw a stat that he was the least double team edge rusher in the league so far this season. They don't even put extra resources to stop him. They just
He didn't
single
even
cover
start.
him with a tackle.
Yeah, he only started 2 of the 5 games that they've played this year. He didn't even start
Yeah.
first round pick. I'm gonna take a saying from Garland's book of Ravens literature and apply it to Adafi Owe
Hmm.
when they drafted him. The Ravens took a chance on Adafi and they lost. They lost. I
Right.
mean, you literally said it, and it was a topic of conversation when they drafted him. They drafted this edge rusher who wasn't rushing or getting any sacks. I mean,
Right.
he didn't overwhelm college in sacks. He wasn't Mike Green that led
Right.
college in sacks. He wasn't even in the top 10. Like you said, he only had one his senior year. So what made us think he was going to come to the NFL and just start tearing it up? I guess they were like, well, if he can at least draw some double teams, get 6 or 7 sacks a season, that would be average. He wasn't even doing that.
Wasn't even
Like,
doing that.
so again, the Ravens bet on the Dolphins all way and they lost. They lost.
Yeah, so they just couldn't put it together. They just didn't have it together, and it's just yeah. So I'm not sad to see Owe
I don't think any
go.
of us are. I don't think
I was not. I'm like, oh, okay. People like, well, who are we gonna have to rush the passer? Well, he wasn't rushing the
he
passer
wasn't
while he
rushing the
was
passer
here.
anyway. I now so I believed in him a little more than Garland did, but Garland was correct every season about this
Every
guy,
season,
except for last season when he got his 10.
he
Trash
got
10 or
his
not, he
10.
got his
He
10.
got a trash 10.
We thought he may have turned the corner, but he absolutely did not.
He didn't. Yeah, because everybody thought, oh yeah, he coming back. He didn't put
Coming
on
back,
extra
back.
muscle. He got his 10 sacks. This is a contract year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a contract year, you know. Now, let me say this as a side note. I find it really funny that as soon as Jim Harbaugh took over in L.A., all of a sudden the Chargers become the Ravens' dumping ground. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
I don't know what it is.
it's the
Gus
Ravens
Edwards,
West. That's what they call
J.K.
it.
Jarvis, Ravens West. Now, Adolfo
They
Way.
had
Now,
Gus
the other
Edwards
two were
last year
free
too.
agents that signed there. The other two were free agents that signed there.
Hmm.
But you know, it's just
Yeah, they had Gus Edwards there. You forgot
yeah,
that.
yeah. They
And
Gus
the
Edwards is hurt this year.
yeah,
He's
I
still
think
on the team.
the GM is also out of Baltimore as well.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
the GM is from Baltimore as well. All right, let's talk about the offense real quick, and then we're gonna move on. The run game is still broken. Collectively, we did see Keaton Mitchell. Me, the president of the Keaton Mitchell fan club, I was very happy to see that he was active on Sunday. But
Exactly.
it ain't make no difference. Collectively, Henry, Justice Hill, and Keaton rushed for a total of 44 yards. The pass game didn't do any better. Cooper rushed through for interceptions, and none of the receivers had over 100 yards receiving. And so, Calvin, what has happened to the offense? What happened to the offense?
Well, obviously, Lamar Jackson happened to the offense last week. It made it
Yeah, but you
that
still had a healthy Zay, a healthy Bateman.
well.
You had a healthy Andrews. You had a healthy Likely. You had a
Well,
healthy Henry. You had a healthy Hill. You had a healthy Mitchell.
well, let's start breaking them down. First of all, nothing happens until the offensive line decides that they want to block for people. There were
Yeah,
literally no holes. If you kick the field goal, I literally said, I'm not mad at this fourth down field goal
right.
because the way the
We weren't going to
offensive
get that
line
first
is
down.
playing, we are not getting those 4 yards. I've heard people say, "Oh, he should have gone for it." You knew. No, no, no. The offensive line did literally nothing. I'm surprised that they didn't get more sacks. The way the offensive line was playing, I thought they would come away with at least 10 or 11 sacks. Because the offensive line is horrible. You're trying to run up the middle, they're stacking the box. Derrick Henry can get nowhere. I looked at a stat. and right before this happened, I looked at a stat to see when the last time the Ravens did not score a home touchdown. And it was the 2005-2006 season in the playoff game where they lost to the Colts 13 to
Yeah, I
6.
remember that.
Now, they made that touchdown, but I don't know what y'all saw on TV. But in the stadium, we were like, did he get across that line? Because it looked like the refs were just like, just give it to him. Because
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, I was on the Red Zone channel by that time. I had even stopped watching. They had stopped showing it on the Red Zone. It got so much a blowout. They said we're going to concentrate on the games that are close. We're not even going to show the Ravens game anymore. And I was like,
yeah,
thank you, God, because this is the reason why I changed the channel.
yeah, man. I
Yeah, they got it. They got
they just
it's the line. They
it's
got to
that
get it
offensive line.
together, and they got it. Sunday is a make or break for a lot of people in this organization.
I don't think
And yeah,
and I mentioned Harbaugh said this about Rashad Bateman. You know, Rashad Bateman always seems like to me that there has to be a trust between him and the quarterback. If you remember his first few seasons with the
hmm
Ravens, it just looked like Lamar didn't trust him. They would just and he always has this habit of not what seems like not giving full effort on these routes and all. Last year, it seemed like, and of course they worked together in the offseason, like they trusted one another. These balls that were thrown by Cooper Rush, he just did not look like he was inspired to go after them. Now, I don't know if it was the score, but I don't know if he just didn't. I think Rashad Bateman is one of those that has to feel comfortable with the quarterback, if that makes any sense. He just doesn't look like he looks like the Rashad Bateman of the first couple seasons with Lamar trying to throw to him and always missing or interceptions and things like that.
yeah, yeah. All right, so we're gonna see what happens. And just in passing, as we get ready to go to our do our pigskin pick'ems, Joe Flacco was traded from the Browns to the Bengals. It's confirmed that he is going to start on Sunday.
Get to
Uh,
see him two more times this year.
get to see him two more times this year, and that means that your boy Shador Sanders moves up to number 2 on the depth chart. I said if they were not in it, we were going to see Shador before the end of the season. They're not in it, so we are going to see Shador at some point this season, I'm
I
sure.
told you week 5. I
You
told you
did.
week
You
5.
said. You said around week 5. Now, Gabriel played good last week. I think it's his job to lose. If he goes out there and he stinks it up for a couple weeks, then they'll throw in Sanders. But depends on what he does. I mean, I don't think that he's going to lead them to a whole bunch of games, but I think he can't come out there and look like Jake Browning has looked for the last couple weeks for the Bengals. And so let's go ahead and go to Pigskin Pick'em, y'all. And I told y'all a couple weeks ago, man, that the cream was going. The cream is me. That the cream, light-skinned boy over here, was
Uh,
going to rise
not
to the
even
top.
not even that light skin though.
I just got some tan on me. Wait for a couple weeks. I'm gonna be real light. Okay, and so last week I made some bold decisions.
You did.
And I did. Calvin was on vacation. He hustling me. Yeah, we can still get our he on vacation. We can still get our picks in. So he feeling confident. He didn't highlighted his little picks, this screenshot of them to me and
You gotta go
everything.
through all that.
I want,
You
yeah,
got
no, I gotta set it up, and so I'm like, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about no picks. I'm like, the man, he in the Aruba, blue waters, he jumping off of cliffs, he doing his thing. So I wasn't even thinking he was thinking about picks. You know what I'm saying? And so I get the little text. I'm like, oh, okay, sir, with the international plan, sending texts. That's how you feel?
It's
I said, okay,
the global international plan. It's $10
yeah.
a day.
Look, he wasn't on the Wi-Fi at the resort. He was doing the global joint. Had to boop 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 hit me in the little joints. I'm like, oh, okay, sir.
Yeah, you are.
So I picked 3 upsets, and actually, I almost got the 4th one if Sam Donald didn't Sam Donald. and throw an interception in those last couple seconds because I think Seattle was on their way. That was a very good game, as a matter of fact, against
Was.
the Bucks. They were on their way to possibly kick the game-winning field goal, and that interception gave it to the Bucks, and they went down and kicked the game-winning field goal. But I picked the Broncos over the Eagles, which I really felt the Eagles would do for a loss. They've been struggling in the past game. I thought that the
Yeah,
Broncos had enough
18,
defense.
what is it? 18 unanswered points in the
Yeah, they
fourth
gave up
quarter.
18 unanswered in the fourth quarter for a good win on the road in Philadelphia. Eagles don't lose too much at home. I thought that was a good upset pick. I did pick the Patriots over the Bills. I thought the Patriots do what the Ravens do well. They can run the ball, and the Bills are not a great defense. I mean, we put up 40 points in that first game. Let's not forget that. And so the Bills have had a soft schedule pretty much, and I thought the Patriots could uh, beat them, and they did. And I called the Jaguars game as well. I know
Yeah.
everybody's feeling, oh, the Chiefs is back. The Chiefs played the Ravens the week before, and everybody is getting their thing off on the Ravens.
you,
And
you
so,
you were fortunate that the Chiefs didn't get that normal Chiefs call at
right.
the at the
Oh,
end of that
yeah,
game.
they were getting it earlier in the game. I mean, they running picks, they doing all these different things. They were getting the calls early in the game, but the Jaguars stayed around enough to win. When your boy Lawrence fumbled on the 1 yard line, trying to jump over like he was Snoop Huntley and stuff. I was just like, oh man, maybe this might not work. But I call that game too. Now Calvin did get a game. He got the Bucks over the Seahawks, and so our total for the week was one for Calvin, 3 games for me. That puts me up by 2, 13-11 right now.
Why your voice get all
Uh,
Anchorman-y and shit?
I just want to say out there to the listening audience. I mean,
This is
I'm
so.
leading right now, so I just want to let people know I'm leading right now. All
I was
right.
I'm not even gonna lie. I was impressed with because they were 3 games that not
Mm-hmm.
really many
Yo,
people.
he questioned me on my text because when he saw my
I really
text, he was
did.
like, "Oh,
I
you
really
picking
did.
those?"
Like, I mean, took the 2 undefeated teams to lose,
Mm-hmm.
the Bills and the Eagles,
Yep.
and you took the Chiefs to lose to the Jaguars. Like,
Yes.
I was shocked. Hey, I'm gonna give you props on this week.
Thank you,
I ain't even
sir.
gonna hate on you this week. That was
Thank you, sir.
3 good ones. 3 good ones. I
I
give
know
you
I'm an angry sports guy, but I'm also Garland the Greek, and so
Some people always take the shit too far. That's what I'm talking about right there.
you know,
You can't even give some motherfuckers their props and shit because that's what they do. Now he going back to his nickname. Then he gonna put his little Facebook picture
yeah,
on
I'm
with
about to
it.
put it up. Let people know. Let people know. Your boy picked them. Your boy picked them last week. You might want to consult with me before you go to DraftKings. No, I want people to do not contact, do not get mad.
They gonna be
FanDuel,
mad.
all that, leave me alone.
They gonna be like, Garland owe me 30 cents. I
Right.
put 30 cents on this bet and I lost.
Yeah, right. I ain't got no room for you at the end if you ain't paying your mortgage, but you out here on DraftKings. All right, man, let's get to these games. All right, Thursday night game tomorrow night. Eagles coming off that tough home loss. They're going to the Meadowlands to face the Jackson Dart led Giants.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the Eagles on the comeback revenge game. Although Jackson Dart hasn't been playing too bad, but Malik Neighbors is out. I believe it's either Slayton or I think it's Slayton that's hurt. I don't even know if he's playing
Okay.
tomorrow. So
Scatterboo's been playing good for them at running back. He's been
yes,
pretty
yes.
good out the backfield. Jackson Dart had a couple turnovers in that loss to New Orleans last week, though, and so he's got to cut that down. Broncos, they are
Who you
in New
taking?
York. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm taking the Eagles as well.
Okay.
Broncos, they are in New York to take on the Jets. The Jets are the only team in the league with no wins, and I think it stays that way. I take the Broncos.
I'm taking the Broncos also.
Okay. Put that down. All right. The Cardinals, who lost in only the way that the Cardinals
Oh
could
my
lose.
gosh.
Little man said that was a 101 example of how to lose a game. Guy fumbled before scoring a touchdown. He threw away the ball. Then they get an interception. They fumble the ball, kick it into Tennessee's end zone where Tennessee recovers and gets a touchdown. And yeah,
It was
comedy of
awful.
errors. It was
It was
awful.
awful.
They head to Indianapolis where they faced the 4-1 Colts. Who you taking in that one?
Colts.
Colts. I'm taking the Colts as well. Little man having rough this year. I think it's gonna be a lot of. And the coach, he got fined. He hit the player who fumbled the ball, pushed him, or kind of hit him in the shoulder pad. And so yeah, you can't do that.
He lucky he ain't get his ass whipped.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Chargers, they head down to South Beach to face the Dolphins. Who you taking?
I'm taking the Chargers.
Chargers. Both of them had tough losses last week. I really think the Dolphins should have won. Tua, he's kind of up and down in the Chargers. The Moes came in and stomped them down out in L.A. Patriots coming off that big win, they head down to the Big Easy, face the Saints.
Yeah, Saints had a good win against the Giants. I didn't
They
think they would
did.
pull it out. But I'm gonna take the Patriots.
I'll take the Patriots. I will take the Patriots as well. Spell Patriots right on this thingy. All right, let's go to the next one. The Browns with their new starting Dylan Gabriel. He played a good game last week against the Vikings. They head into Steel town to take on the Steelers, the AFC North division leading Steelers.
Yeah, man. Defense travels.
Mm,
I
mm,
want to. I want to take Cleveland on this. I'm hesitant because they're in Pittsburgh.
mm.
If they were in Cleveland, I would definitely. You know what? Let's go. I'm taking the Browns.
All right, upset special. I'm going to take the Steelers at home. I still don't. I'm not sold on the Browns offense right now. Cowboys, they head down to Carolina. They're gonna get some chopped pork, and then they're gonna face the Panthers. Who you got? Panthers
Um,
big win last week.
yeah, they had a big win, and I don't think what's his name is starting at running back again. I think Rico Dowdle is going to
Yes.
start again,
Hmm.
and this is might be his revenge game. You know, that was his
Yeah, that was
the
his team
Cowboys'
last
whole
year.
team. Um, I think Dak is playing really well. I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
All right, I'm gonna take the boys as well. All right, Seattle. They head over to the East Coast, heading down to Duval, coming off the big win for the Jaguars. Are they going to have a little Monday night hangover?
They're gonna have a Monday night hangover and West Coast going east. Give me Jacksonville.
All right, he gonna take the Jags. You know what? I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna take the Seahawks. I had the Jags down. I'm gonna switch it. I'm feeling something about the Hawks.
They're a
I
good
think,
team. They're a very
yeah,
good
they.
team.
I think our boys. I think Jaguars are gonna have a little hangover from that big win. Titans. They head to Vegas to take on the Raiders.
Are the Titans still under winless?
No, they won the game against the Cardinals. Remember,
That's
we were
right.
just talking about that.
Yeah. God
Mhm,
damn. Thanks for there.
mhm.
I like Ashton Genty. I think Brock Bowers is hurt though. I don't think he's playing.
Yeah, he's like day to day. They're not sure yet.
Um, you know what? I'm gonna take the Titans 2 game win streak.
All right. I'm gonna take the Raiders on this one. The Titans won by luck. I don't think the Raiders will pee the bed that bad as the Cardinals did. The Bengals they head out to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Packers coming off a bye week. Bengals gonna have a brand new quarterback in Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco's washed.
He's absolutely washed. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers.
Taking the Packers. Well, go Pack, go. The Niners they head down to Tampa to take on the Bucks.
Yeah, the
Niners coming
Niners.
off a big win last
Yeah, I was about to
Thursday
say they
against the
played
Rams.
well with
Hmm.
what's his name behind center. It wasn't even Brock Purdy.
Mac
Um,
Jones,
I'm
and you got
going.
to give Baker some credit because Baker's been playing very good this year.
I was about to say I'm going with the Bucks because I think Baker is might be a sleeper candidate for MVP at some point.
All right, I like the Bucks as well. I think this is probably going to be this is the Sunday night game. The Lions they head out to KC to face the Chiefs.
Good game.
Hmm.
For the Lions, I'm taking Detroit.
Right, I'm taking Detroit as well. It ain't going to be close. Monday night we got the Bills. They heading down to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons coming off a bye week as well.
Yeah, Bills not losing 2 in a row. Give me Buffalo.
All right, Buffalo. I'm taking the Bills as well. And the Bears, there's two Monday night games. I don't know why they keep on doing this. The Bears are heading down to DC to take on the Moes.
Are they going back to DC? I thought
Mm-hmm.
DC was
Excuse
going
me.
to Chicago. Bears
Nope.
need a revenge game. They should have won last year, but that was the Hail Mary game that made Jaden Daniels a legend in DC. I'm gonna take the Bears though. I got the got Caleb and the Bears doing it this week,
Okay.
this
I'm
Monday.
I'm gonna take the Moes. And of course, man, we got the home team. I mean, how you feeling about? I mean, it's got to be Ravens, but I mean, you having any reservations?
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. I'm sorry.
Ah, you gonna take
I,
the Rams?
if
Guess
we
what?
were
I got the Rams in my columns
I
too.
almost I was this close to taking the Texans last week. I was this close. But nah, after what I witnessed live, I gotta take the Rams. I
Okay.
hope I'm wrong, but I gotta take the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams as well. And so let's go through let's go through the choices. Uh Thursday's game, we're both taking the Eagles, we're both taking the Broncos over the Jets, Colts over Cardinals, Chargers over Dolphins, Patriots over Saints. We split on Browns Steelers. Calvin's taking the Browns, I'm taking the Steelers. We both take Cowboys over Panthers. We split on Seahawks Jaguars. Calvin's taking the Jags, I'm taking the Seahawks. We split on Titans Raiders. Calvin's taking the Titans. I'm taking the Raiders. We're both taking the Packers over the Bengals, the Bucks over the Niners, Lions over Chiefs, Bills over Falcons. We split on Bears and Commanders. Calvin's taking Bears. I'm taking Commanders. And we're taking the visiting team over the home Ravens. So we'll see how our picks go, and we'll be with you next week. All right, man. Come on, yo. I got two come on yos if you don't mind indulging me real quick.
There you go.
All right. Now this first come on yo is for this is not a rant about Bronny James or LeBron James. Okay, it's not about them personally. So please don't approach me about this. All right. I'm not hating on the James family. This is not about them two. But it's time for all the Bronny James, LeBron James stands to stop going scorch earth defending the drafting of Bronny by the Lakers and his roster spot on that team. Yes, we understand that nepotism is a real thing in professional sports. And LeBron's offspring should be able to enjoy the fruits of their father's hard work. But let's be clear, there's no other athlete with the level of influence of LeBron James, period. Now, the problem with the Bronny LeBron stands, now I come up with a name for him, Calvin. I'm going to call him LeStans. Now, the problem with the LeStans is that they won't admit that the only reason that a young man that has never averaged over 15 points per game at any level in his playing career is in the NBA on a premier franchise, no less because of who his father is. Now, I have a friend, and he's a LeStan. And anytime our chat line, I have another chat line with these friends. The discussion is about Bronny. He goes into full LeStan mode. Now, these are real texts. I didn't make these up. These are real texts. I'm not going to say his name because he might listen to this. We talking, someone brings up he's tired of Bronny. Why are y'all mad at Bron? Steph helped his brother get signed. So did Giannis. What about Rick Barry and all his sons? Second text. Brothers, we need to learn how to celebrate our own. This is a major milestone and achievement. Let's celebrate our blackness. Text number 3. Y'all mad at Denzel? Talking about Denzel Washington. For helping his son? He is as good of an actor as Bronny is a baller. Denzel's son has been acting for a while now. Give Bronny to year 3. And then the final text. Watch what Bronny does this year next. He's going to be official. Keep in mind, he just had open heart surgery. Now, us stands are okay with Bronny. Okay, we're fine with it. Us non-stands, we're fine with it. We understand he's in the league, and we know why he's in the league. Wink, wink. And that he probably won't be there long after his father retires. But LeStans, We need y'all to come back to reality. So come on, yo. Now, this leads me into my second one, and this is about LeBron James. This is about LeBron James' second decision. Come on, yo. Now, on Monday, in a post on Twitter, I'm not going to call it X, LeBron posted that on Tuesday he was going to make the decision of all decisions. Billed as the second decision, most people thought that maybe he was going to announce that he would retire and this was going to be his last season in the NBA, which has been floating around since the Lakers' early exit from last year's playoffs. And as a result of the post, Laker ticket sales spiked and networks were prepared for the announcement, Calvin. Well, of course, in LeBron James fashion, the announcement was not tied to retirement. In an advertisement for Hennessy cognac, come on, LeBron, you
Hen
can't do
dog.
better than Hennessy.
Hen dog.
And an announcement for Hen Dog. James sat down for an interview wearing a red and white checkered shirt, referencing his made-for-TV special that aired on ESPN in 2010 when he announced his decision to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers and take his talents to South Beach to join the Miami Heat. In the spot, James says he's going to take his talents to Hennessy VSOP. Come on, yo. Come on, LeBron. Come on, bro. LeBron. First of all, why you out here? You ain't drinking Hennessy. You not fooling me. You ain't on the banana boat with Melo and with Chris Paul and all of them, and you drinking some gut rot Hennessy. You can't convince me you drinking that's your brown choice while you having a $500 cigar. You're gonna go get a $20 whiskey or bourbon. Come on, man. You ain't fooling me, LeBron. You're not fooling me. And then you're going to tie this into probably the most pivotal thing that's happened in your career. The reason why people really hate you is because of the announcement. You were great up until then, and then people really started hating you when you did the announcement. But you're going to make a little spoof of, oh, yeah, I'm taking my talents to Hennessy. Come on, yo. Come on. Come on, bro. You could have did that better, man. Just roll out and say I got a nice. I'm getting some dollars from Hennessy, y'all. So, go out and buy a couple bottles. I'm not buying no Hennessy. I'm sorry. Woodford Reserve. I go get some Buffalo Trace, but we're not doing no daggone Hennessy VSOP. So come on, yo.
LeBron is a sommelier. He's a wine. He's a wine.
Sommelier, Bron.
Yeah, he's a wine. He's a wine guy. So this is a little out of his normal comfort zone as we know it.
The
I'm not mad at him though.
The Les Sommeliers.
I'm not mad at him though. Get that money. Get that money. Get that money. The girl from Uncle Nearest that owns Uncle Nearest, and they having their own problems. But remember, she did a commercial asking why celebrities are endorsing all of these other brown liquors, and she said, she doesn't care. But remember, she came out with the commercial for Uncle Nearest that said, "I'm gonna give y'all some advice. Take all their money. So take the money, LeBron. I'm not mad. Listen, what your boys say. Let's celebrate blackness. And another thing, don't you ever talk to me about pulling receipts. Bruh, you was pulling receipts. If you talking about Bronny after he had open heart surgery, you pulling receipts from 3 years ago.
What?
Is that the text you was reading?
No, this is from a conversation that happened.
How long ago?
Early this a couple days ago.
Oh, okay, I was about to say
this is a couple. No, I'm not pulling them from way back. This is an exchange of conversation that happened like on Sunday or Monday.
Okay. But still, don't talk to me about pulling receipts.
No, I'm not going that far back like you do. I ain't got the audio on this.
Hey man, my come on, yo, is something that really troubled me while I was in Aruba. Now, first, let me say, I wore you see, I've put up the Orioles gear and I'm now donning the Ravens gear. And I wore some Ravens gear through the airport, and I was embarrassed by what the team did because I got there right when the game had began and started, and I was embarrassed to even have on the Ravens gear. And the team looked bad against KC. It's just, I couldn't even watch the whole thing. I watched the first half and was just done with it. But come on, yo. Baltimore fans, it baffles me that as soon as the team gets demolished and Lamar has an awful looking game,
Mhm.
the first thing I hear when he gets injured is that Lamar quit. Are you all kidding me? Now, if you have been keeping up with us, I mentioned to Garland a couple weeks ago that I
You
think
did.
Lamar's already hurt. I thought he was hurt prior to that game. He got hit pretty hard a couple times in the Detroit game, and I remember seeing him getting up a little slower. He also didn't run in the Detroit game, which is of course his thing, and so I think he got hurt early, and I think this that week against KC may have just exasperated an injury. But come on, yo. I can't believe Baltimore fans are literally saying that a guy quit, a Raven quit, and not just a Raven, Lamar Jackson quit. Come on, yo. You all kidding me? Stop putting on the players what you would do in adversity. Stop putting on the players what you did in your little league when the game wasn't going your way, or you didn't get in the game and you decided to quit, or your parents pulled you out the game because y'all weren't getting your way. You weren't playing well, so it's everybody else's fault. Come on, yo, stop that. It disgusted me so bad to hear those words come out. If you want to say that they may have quit on the coach, that has a different context. If you want to say that they don't believe in the system, that has a different context. If they're playing uninspired, that has a different context. But you are literally saying that Lamar Jackson, two-time, should be three-time MVP Lamar Jackson, the only reason that most of us are going to the stadium, quit on his team. Not that he was hurt or injured, but he quit. Do you know what you're saying about this man? But you'll be the first ones when he gets back to full healthy. You'll be the first ones down there. Oh, Lamar's my guy, number 8. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. Lamar Jackson did not quit. I'm sick of hearing Baltimore fans say that he quit. Commentators, radio, if the national media wants to say it, they can say it because they've never been on his side. But he quit. Other players get hurt and they come out the games. They didn't quit, they were hurt. But Lamar gets hurt and he quit. I'm so sick of the way that our own fans treat our number one star, who is the best quarterback the Ravens have ever had, bar none. Bar Super Bowl or not, bar none. It disappoints me. It disgusts me. And you all really need to look inside yourselves and stop projecting what you would have done onto Lamar Jackson. Come on, yo. Stop that shit.
I'm with you. I think it's all stereotypical. Black people quit, black men quit, and so he's
Mm-hmm.
lazy and all these other things. And so it's all stereotypical. But yeah, no, he did not quit. Yeah, and you said it earlier. And to even take you back to the first game, they were alluding to that he was cramping up on the sideline. A lot of people were questioning how come Lamar they did not run Lamar on that fourth down try or something, and they decided to punt. And there was reports that he was cramping. I think he probably was having some early leg problems then and was playing through it, and then it just manifested and that pull muscle. And you got to be careful with these things. I mean, do you want to lose him for the whole year? I
Exactly.
mean, we saw the thing with Tyrese Halliburton and the several other players in the NBA, Jason Tatum and Dame Dollar. These guys hamstring problems, calf problems. They still put them out there to play, and what happened? They're out for the entire year and this coming year, and so we got to be careful with these things.
Gotta be careful. Now, we could say that Lamar might need to train better so he can stay healthy instead of showing up
Yeah,
on the Power series and, and playing at TV shows and stuff. But no, stop that.
I think the law averages have come back because we had two injury-free seasons. And
Mhm.
it's funny because I was thinking about that, Calvin, as we went into the season. I was like, you know what? Lamar has not had a major injury or has not been out for an injury since the year before he signed the big deal.
Mm-hmm.
The year before he was injured. He didn't play the end of the season. They lost in the playoffs. Then he comes back. He has the MVP year, and they get far. And he's been relatively healthy for those 2 seasons. And so you can't play this game and think you're not going to have some injuries at some
Especially
point.
with his style of play.
Yeah, especially with his style of play. And as porous as that line is, Lamar has saved a lot of people on that line because he has the ability to avoid the rush.
One of the reasons why we're talking so much about the defense right now is because last week Lamar wasn't there to mask the defense's inefficiencies.
Right.
You know, they gave up 44 points, but one of the reasons they did is because they stayed on the field because the offense couldn't sustain drives. Lamar Jackson sustains drives. So even if they don't win the game or they don't score, the Texans may have only scored 20 to 24 points and still could have won that game. But because the offense is so inefficient without Lamar Jackson, they had many opportunities and they capitalized on pretty much all of them.
Definitely.
So anyway, hey man, another good show. It's good to be back. It ain't as cold, so I'm not as upset. It actually, when we came back, the game Sunday was not only hot. Yeah, it was warm. It was warm in the stands because we were pissed off. It was warm on the field because the Texans were hot. And Jair Alexander, I saw you trying to take the ball from the dude because he did the little Ray Lewis dance. Let me tell you something, sir. To the victor goes the spoils. You know how you could have taken that ball from him? If you didn't let him score the fucking touchdown. If he doesn't score the touchdown, he doesn't do the Ray Lewis dance. You want to know why no one in Baltimore really said anything? Because that's how we feel. The defense is so bad. You let him score the touchdown. Why are you mad at him?
But don't let him come in here and disrespect us like that. Don't disrespect our icons like that. Y'all ain't won nothing down there.
First of all, the defense disrespected our icons. You ain't see the what they call Dan the fan. They usually take his shirt off and do.
I heard they ain't show him the whole game. He ain't take his shirt off the whole game.
Showed him one time. He ain't take his shirt off. They showed him one time. It was awful. Jair Alexander, aren't you horrible anyway? I didn't even know you were in the game, sir. You bum. Yo. Anyway, man, another good podcast. We are live on YouTube right now, and you will be able to see us on all the podcast platforms. And if you have Spotify, you can definitely see us getting angry about things around here. So, cool. Yeah, man, fucking sorry ass.
You have been listening to the B.I.G. show.
Listen,
the show was produced and written by Calvin Coates and Garland Thomas for All Things Black Productions.
The Texans
follow
were doing
us on
anything
all of
they
your
wanted to.
podcast media platforms.
Cushions and we sitting here cheering. It's third down. You might as well just say they're about to get it for another first down.
Right.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
Tomorrow.